Hey, this is Mo from Twain, and in this video you'll learn how to personalize your outreach right inside of Clay using Twain's deep research. It is incredibly simple. Let me tell you, all you need will be either a LinkedIn profile URL or a work email of your prospects. You can personalize outreach for inbound campaigns or for outbound campaigns. All you need is to sign up to Twain on a free plan, and you'll already get access to your own API key. In this video, you'll learn the best practice on where should you spend your time on, what will help you get the most out of Twain's deep research, and what kind of information you will store in Twain and what kind of information you'll store in Clay. And at the end of the video, I will show you a little bit of the outputs, of course, the messages that get generated, and a few things that Twain does for you under the hood, so you don't have to do that anymore. Let's get started. First of all, we go to Clay and we'll look up the enrichment. So I'll add a new column and I'll search for Twain. And it pops up here. It's the enrichment called Write Content with Twain Deep Research. You'll see here a little bit of how it works and what Twain will return for you. Here's the link where you sign up. This is very important. You need to have a Twain account to use Twain, because that's the only way how we can make sure that you'll get the highest quality. And then here is a playlist on YouTube where you'll find videos on best practice. Now, very straightforward, we will connect our API key. Now let me quickly show you how to connect your API key and where you find it in Twain. Of course, we are starting at the beginning and we'll have to click on Create Campaign to sign up and go through the onboarding. Now I'm already in here, and then at the bottom left, you'll click on your name and you'll find API key, and that it just says copy key. Then we go back to Clay and we add our API key. Very important, you get your own API key even on a free plan. Now, the next thing is that we'll map the right campaign. So what is a campaign? Let's go back to Twain and you'll see here on the left side, you see an overview of your campaigns. Now, I have one prepared here with a few example leads, and the important thing is that you start in Twain, you create a campaign in Twain, and don't worry, you don't need to take all of your lead list from Clay. Just take 1, 2, 3, a few example leads, add them inside of Twain, work with Twain on the copy. We have videos and best practice on that as well, how to set up the campaign. And then once you're happy and see the results for a few leads, you'll go to Clay and you select the right campaign. And I want to have the campaign with the one that we have just looked at right now. So let's have a look at where we'll find it. All right, it's at the very top here. And now here comes the cool part. Clay will already understand and identify your columns and then automatically map them. So you can see here the LinkedIn profiles are mapped and an email address are mapped. You can see here both says optional, but one of them is mandatory. So either it has to be the LinkedIn profile or email. A very important information for you to know. There's a very strong preference or recommendation that you use a LinkedIn profile, because that way we can do the deep research on the individual and the account. When you use an email address, a work email address, we can still personalize the messaging, but we can only personalize it on the company, on the account level. Now, the rest here, we have very, very much kept it simple, which is really, really cool because it allows you to get value out of Twain really fast. And we do a lot of the things under the hood, and I'll give you a few examples in a minute. You can still add the prospect name if you want. You can add some extra information. Of course, you can just like reference one of the columns in case you have some additional context that you want to share with Twain. And of course, if there's any kind of signal or trigger, you can add that here as well on the prospect or role level. Now, something that's important to understand is only add information here that is specifically tailored to the individual prospect or role. Anything that has to do with your offer, your value proposition, your campaign idea, you set up in the campaign setup in Twain. And once again, we have videos around that available. Now, I'm gonna link the LinkedIn profile, and that's actually all I have to do. And I can already run the enrichment, and we'll then look at the outputs. Now let's give Twain a few seconds, and then you'll see what Twain will return for you. Now, this only took a few seconds, and look at this. So here's everything we returned for you. You'll see that we have two messages. We have research, and we have a uniquely generated subject line for every single one of your prospects. Now, of course, I want to look at the messages. So this is my first intro, and then I'm going to create a column for that, and I'm going to create a column for my follow-up. And then we have more, of course. Now you can see the messages here, but we also have the subject line, for example. I can add that as a column. And here comes something very, very, very cool that our customers are already using to export to their CRM. And you'll get that included in that API call. So we do a deep research. This is not a LinkedIn profile enrichment. This is an actual research based on your value proposition. And you see multiple things here. You get information on the person, you get information on the company, and very, very interesting, you get research with all the references. You see the links and the source where the research comes from. And we see here for Jacob, we have 3 insights. You can reuse these insights. You can export them to your CRM. We have customers that are adding them as a meeting prep. We have customers that are using that for cold calling to personalize the opener in a cold call, and so on. Now let's quickly look at the messages that were generated. So here you can see the formatting is already correct. You can see here as well, all the messages are similar, but still personalized to every single one of the prospects. And then one other thing that we often see in AI, for example, you see these logos, these icons, and emojis in a LinkedIn profile, and you see like things like that. Of course, Twain cleans up. Twain also cleans up company names, any kind of titles. Twain does multiple checks on, which one is actually the right title or position that we want to reach out to, that is relevant to our campaign. Many, many things that a tool that is not dedicated to outreach and using research and personalizing outreach might get wrong. And we don't do anything else 24/7. We are obsessed with getting the highest quality of personalization that is relevant for you. And now you can use this very powerful research inside of Clay. And as you saw, it is incredibly simple, and you get all of that returned. Of course, we could have used that on thousands of leads. And let's say, for example, you want to change something, you always go back inside of Twain, and you can add more follow-ups here. You can create a multi-channel outreach, like a LinkedIn message. These are, for example, an email, another email, but now I can also add a LinkedIn Connect request note, for example, or just a LinkedIn follow-up. All the follow-ups in a thread or a sequence have the context of the messages before. You can also preview the research that we do here and all the other statements on the prospect. And then you can work with Twain's chat here in case you want to change things, like changing the language, for example. And now, last but not least, some best practice. If I were you, where you should spend the most time on. This idea here, right now it's empty. You can add an idea, and I would highly recommend adding a thoughtful idea. It's like a meta prompt. You can add everything you want from context, your intention for the campaign, what's your goal, any kind of content, some specific social proof, or maybe it's an event you're talking about or a lead magnet, and any kind of like style and instruction. Now, Twain will create a persona for you, so you can use our auto import to add multiple links, to add documents. It's like a knowledge base you import. And I would highly recommend you using Twain's auto import and then reviewing the persona to make sure that everything that's written in here, and often it's multiple statements that you can see, is actually what you want Twain to know about this campaign or this persona. And it's way, way easier to like import everything and then review it and remove what you don't like. So that's actually where I would recommend you spend time on. That's basically your job to fine-tune Twain. And then we also have every single message step has a framework. You can paste in an email example that performed well in the past. Even when it's personalized to someone else, Twain will understand how to use it. Same for follow-ups, same for LinkedIn message steps. So these are the three things where I would spend time on and invest on if I were you, to get them and set them up correctly: persona, campaign idea, and the frameworks. And the really cool thing is you can very, very easily A/B test all of that right inside of Clay by just saying, okay, now I have a campaign structure that I really like. Now I want to A/B test it. So you can just duplicate the campaign, add another lead list or manually a lead, change something. Maybe, for example, go from an observation in the opener to a question, change the CTA, change the subject line, all kinds of things. And then you can go back to Clay, of course, and then run it with a different campaign and quickly A/B test two different ways of personalization. So yeah, that's how Twain works. Have fun. Reach out to us or Clay's team. We are very, very happy to help you. And always remember, you can set up all of that with free credits that you get when you sign up. You have access to the API, so you can really see the results and the outputs before having to decide on anything. There is no limit to people you can add in case you want to add multiple people and you want multiple people on your team to work with Twain. All of it is driven by just credit packages that you subscribe to. All right, have fun using Twain, and we'll hope you see the impact on your campaigns very, very soon.